Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. It is my wedding week. Yay. I am getting married this week on Saturday. I'm so excited. We're getting married in Indiana, and I'm getting married to my very best friend Tyler, who prefers to not be on the vlog. So you guys probably haven't met him, but I do talk about him a lot. I am just, yeah, I'm so pumped. We're going to be around family and friends. The wedding is going to be, it's like an indoor outdoor barn type of situation with a flower garden. The weather looks good so far. Right now it's slotted to be about 80-ish degrees Fahrenheit and no rain. I just am unbelievably excited. And you know what? I'm just going to launch into the wedding plans now, and then I'll get into the TBR because I've started now. So it is currently Sunday. I am going to be on Wednesday traveling to Indiana because I'm doing my bachelorette weekend from Wednesday to Saturday, essentially. So my girls are coming up just a little bit early. We're not doing a trip anywhere because a lot of them have young children or are at that point in their life where asking them to go on a solo trip with my group of friends just felt a little weird to me. No judgment at all if that works for your group of friends. It just, for me at my stage in my life with this current group, I was like, I don't know. I can't ask you to be away from your child for that long. So we are doing it as kind of attached to my wedding weekend, and we are doing all the cozy things. We're doing an afternoon tea. We're doing a cat cafe. We're doing a spa day, and we're going to my favorite restaurant that I haven't been to in so many years. And I'm just like, I could not be more pumped about it. I have 6 bridesmaids. Most of them are bookish in some way, shape, or form. So that's fun as well. And then Saturday is the big wedding. And Sunday I will be driving back and probably be a little hungover. I don't know. Hopefully not too hungover. But it is like a 6-hour drive back. So pray for me. So anyways, this week I am so excited. I know this is a week that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. And yeah, of course, there's only one thing that would be fitting to read on my wedding week. And actually, as I'm saying this, I'm remembering there's something else I need to add to my TBR. So don't mind me. And that is, of course, wedding books. Wedding freaking books. So I don't know, I'm giddy. I think I'm over caffeinated. Okay. Anyways, this is chaotic. Let's get into the TBR for this week's reading vlog. As I said, I'm going to be reading wedding books this week. Most of these are wedding thrillers, but there is one general wedding book that has been on my shelf for a really long time that I've been wanting to read my wedding week. So I'm going to talk about that one first and then get into some mystery thrillers that I picked up at Half Price Books this past week. First off, we have The Wedding People by Allison Espach. And this is about an unexpected wedding guest and the surprise people that help her start anew. So I believe she goes to a resort or something, and she runs into this wedding and really befriends the bride. And it's kind of about that story. I have heard people who read this really like it. On Instagram, there's this trend where people are doing a lot of their 6-star reads or the reads that define them. And this often shows up. So very curious to read it. And I had to read it this week, even if it's not a romance ebook or a wedding ebook, it only feels right. So that's the first one. Then I have 3 wedding-ish mystery thrillers that are on the docket, plus or minus how far I'm going to get into them. But I'm just going to put them out there that these are on the TBR. So first up, we have The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. This is about a couple. The husband engages in a passionate affair, one out in a secluded woods, and then everything changes when the husband is arrested for the murder of the person that he had an affair with. Again, I'm not trying to get the romantic vibe from these books, but being a mystery thriller reader and knowing that wedding mysteries, wedding thrillers is a whole genre, it just felt so perfect. So that's the first one by Geneva Rose, and this is my first Geneva Rose I've read. I've seen her blurb other mystery books before, but I've never actually read one of hers. Then we have The Second Husband by Kate White. This is also my first Kate White. After losing her husband, Derek, in what appears to have become a random street crime, 30-something Emma has built a new life with widower Tom, who is kind, handsome, driven, and successful. Emma is finally able to feel safe again, both in her relationship with Tom and in the home they've made together on the Connecticut shore. Then one day, a homicide detective shows up at Emma and Tom's door asking questions. Though Emma has been cleared of her husband's murder, it appears that law enforcement is taking another look at her and the case. So there's that one. I very much like this cover. It gives me like beachy vibes. Then You May Now Kill the Bride. I'm a little bit mad because Book of the Half Price Books sticker like kind of took some of the ink off of one of the bridesmaids, but that's fine. It says the bride-to-be drops dead at her bachelorette weekend with all her bridesmaids as suspects for her murder in this wry thriller full of deadly twists and characters you'll love to hate. Who will be left standing when the bouquet is thrown? Yes, yes, yes. So, this is my wedding week reading plans. Probably some of it will be on audiobook because, as I said, I am traveling a lot this week, so I'll probably have something on when I'm in the car. Otherwise, Tyler and I are about to head to grab some drinks, grab some dinner, and then we're going to go to this annual event here in Cleveland called the Asian Lantern Festival, which is one of our favorite things. They have all these like beautiful lanterns. It's in the zoo. They have really yummy food. So maybe we'll do a bit of a second dinner. And it's just something that we always love to do at this like August, September time. So we're going to go do that, then hopefully come home and end the day reading on the couch. So guys, it is currently Tuesday and I leave for the wedding officially tomorrow. I've not packed a single thing. The house is in total chaos, like literally everything thrown everywhere right now. But we did get most of the like annoying prep things done today. And I did pick up some very last minute things for the wedding. I got these little cards I thought were very cute. It says, please leave your advice and wishes for the new Mr. and Mrs. And it just has a little little thing where people can write their thing and they'll just drop it in a little box for us. So I thought that was very cute. If some of these are not super personal, I can make a reading vlog out of these. Maybe these are too personal. I'll mull it over. But anyways, those will be good for the wedding. One of my bridesmaids, unfortunately, is feeling under the weather and she's doing fine. But she's like starting to feel better. The biggest question is like, is she well enough to come? I don't want other people getting sick. There are going to be a few kiddos at the wedding. And so that's been a whole thing. I think she is going to come for the wedding day, but just not for a couple days before the wedding. So hopefully that goes okay. I feel very bad because I want everybody to be able to be there and I want everything to be, everyone to enjoy and do all the things. But I feel like I had to be a little selfish and just say, I can't wake up with a fever on my wedding day. I just have to do this for me. And I don't like doing that. So anyways, that kind of made today a little tough, but I'm glad that she's starting to feel better and I'm glad that she thinks that she'll be able to make it to the wedding. But yeah, just a last minute decision, I guess. I think the days before your wedding or before something big is about to happen, you don't want to make big decisions and you don't want like big things to happen. And so when that happened, I was like, my brain is frozen. I don't know what to do. But I think we came to a good conclusion. I'm happy with where we ended up. I have no new book mail actually to show you, which is kind of a surprise because usually I have something or other to share with you guys. But I do have some book news for you. And actually a lot of different things to chat with you guys about. So yeah, let's get into it. first off, a couple of DNFs slash pivoting a little bit of the TBR. So I decided to DNF The Second Husband by Kate White. I started this, I got to about 50 pages through, and I just did not care. I did not enjoy the writing particularly. There was no like description or immersion at all. Like, this did not feel like escapist. I could not sink into it. It just seemed like a string of dialogue, a string of characters that I didn't care about saying things. And I know that this author has written books that people really like, but this one just was not working for me. And I was like, I'm not going to be in a slump for my wedding week. So DNF'd this one. And then I was looking on Google reviews for this one, and they're just so bad. Like the Goodreads rating, I want to say is like 3.2. And I think maybe this was a bit of a cover buy and a title buy and not what I want to read this week. So I will give it back to Goodwill or try and sell it half price books again. But like on second thought, I thought, maybe not. So I'm not going to read this one. I didn't DNF it, but I never ended up picking it up. If you have read this and you think I should hold on to it, do let me know. It probably won't go into an unhaul for a little bit because I'm going to bunch them all together. But right now I was just like, I'm not sure about it. I finished Heartwood by Amity Gage, which I ended up giving 3.5 stars. I think that this book has a bit of a marketing problem because I think a lot of people, like thrillers and mysteries, missing person stories are very popular books. People know what they're going to get from them. And so I think a lot of people are trying to market this as that. And it's just not. Like, it is very much a literary kind of book. It is not a twisty thriller. There are not like twists and turns. It's not that. So people who are giving this low reviews are picking it up saying they're bored because they wanted a thriller, which I get, but that's not what it is. But if you go into this wanting a literary book, I think that you will be happy, or at least your expectations will be more in line with what this book is willing to deliver. This ended up saying a lot about it's funny because it's a missing person story about the wilderness, but it said a lot about like human connection, where we are in modern society, how divided people have gotten and how far apart people have gotten. It also says a lot about motherhood. And yes, it is on the background of this missing person story, but I think it's more about the characters and more about those issues. So yes, it was a little slow. I did go into it thinking it was more of a thriller. Obviously, I put this in some of my thriller, like reading thrillers in a week. I popped this in, which it is not. So just know that going into it. But overall, I did enjoy it. The writing was solid. I gave it 3.5. It is a book I think I would reread because I think there's a lot in here that I didn't get at the beginning because I was reading it with a different angle. Like I was like, oh, who's the twist? Like who's going to be somebody else? Or, and that's not what this is. So I think if I reread it with a different outlook, I might get more from it and my rating might go up. But 3.5 for this right now. Hello, Gilbert. Gilbert is licking his paws on the floor. I decided to pick up this The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose because this is very much a marriage book. And, well, not really. It is an extremely dysfunctional marriage, but it has marriage in the title. And this one does have pretty high reviews on Goodreads. So I thought this will be a good one to fully sink into. So I'm just on page 37, so just right at the beginning of this book. But so far we're following a attorney. They live in DC, and her husband are totally on different pages to what they want their relationship to be. Just like completely dysfunctional. But you get one chapter from him and one chapter from her, which is something I really, really like in mysteries. Alice Feeney often does that, and I think it works really well because you can kind of have twists within the perspective. So yeah, I don't have any strong thoughts 37 pages into it, but I'm at least like gripped. I'm interested. The writing is sucking me in, and I think this will probably be the book that I continue with. And then I have not started The Wedding People yet. I do have quite a car ride tomorrow, so I might listen to that a little bit on audio. I also downloaded a very non-wedding book on that I saw on Instagram that somebody had really liked. It is called, let me find it. It's a new release actually,
but somebody really got me because in their stories, they were like, this audiobook really shook me. It was so good. It is called, thank you, this is Audible. It is called A Killer Motive by Hannah Mary McKinnon. And let me tell you what it's about. So yeah, again, not a wedding thriller. I like listening to thriller audiobooks in the car, and this one kind of caught my attention. Here we go. This is a very, very new release. It literally just came out. Um, it says, you never know who's listening. To Stella Dixon sneaking her teenage brother out of their parents' house for a beach party was harmless fun until Max disappeared without a trace. 6 years later, Stella's family is still broken, and she can't let go of her guilt. The only thing that keeps her going is helping other families find closure through A Killer Motive, her true crime podcast. I didn't know that this was a podcast. Oh, that's even perfect because I love audiobooks with podcast elements. And everybody is giving it 5 stars. Like everybody is loving this. So maybe the road trip read will be that one. And then I can finish a couple of the other ones. Although the wedding is going to be very jam-packed, and I don't know how much I'm actually going to have time to read. So I'm just going to do my best. And if we get to the end of the week and I've only read 1 or 2 things, that is totally fine, even if they weren't on the TBR to start with. So I am going to try and clean up about this house a little bit because it is total chaos. Tyler's about to come home from work, so I'll probably stay up for him and like do a little bit of cleaning before he gets home. And then I'm going to head to sleep because tomorrow I head to get married. Hello guys, I have made it to my Airbnb where I'm going to be for a couple of days before the wedding. It is just me currently. My bridesmaids are coming in tomorrow, and we're going to do a afternoon tea, cat cafe, and Italian dinner tomorrow, which I'm super, super excited about. I don't have too much of a reading update to tell you. I read about 50 more pages of The Perfect Marriage this morning. This is just like unhinged chaos with a few fun twists in there. It is not the finest literature ever, but it is what I want right now. So I'm really enjoying this. But yeah, don't have like too much to say about this. The writing is a little bit interesting at times, but it is what it needs to be right now, and I'm enjoying that part of it. I also read a decent amount of A Killer Motive in the car ride. I think I want to say I have about 2 hours left of the audiobook, and there was a little lull in the middle where I was slightly bored, but I'm really intrigued now, and I'm kind of interested to see how the twists are going to pan out. So we're following this girl named, don't remember her name, Stella. And her brother Max went missing back when they were kind of growing up at this beach party. And now we're several years later, and he has never been found. Max has never been found. And Stella is a podcast host for a true crime podcast. And slowly little like tips and things are happening. Like his case is moving along a little bit. I don't want to spoil anything because I think that the twists are the funnest part. But it certainly is a great audiobook for a car ride, keeps you engaged. It's been really fun. So I'm probably going to finish that on the way home. I did want to just show you around the Airbnb because it is just so lovely, like perfect little spot for a bachelorette party Airbnb. So I'll show you around that. And then I think I'm gonna head to sleep because it's a little after midnight. And tomorrow afternoon tea's at like 2 p.m. So we do have quite a bit of time to just like wake up, chill out in the morning, but I want to make sure that I'm not like too exhausted for all the things going on tomorrow. So let's look around the Airbnb. All right, so I just wanted to show you around the Airbnb. It is like probably the nicest Airbnb I've ever stayed at, which is perfect for my wedding weekend. But you come in and this is, they have this little entrance area with this very nice table here. And then this is the main living area. Of course, we have my book, a little glass of rosé that I just finished. I was watching Love is Blind UK, which was lovely. Nice little fireplace, very just like cozy vibes. We have this nice dining table, and the kitchen is just stunning, like dream kitchen vibes here. So I had pizza and a breadstick right here, which is exactly what I want. And then there's a basement downstairs. There's one bedroom down here, which is very nice. A little powder room here. Hello. And then let me show you the upstairs. So I'm actually going to be in this bunk bed because some of my bridesmaids are going to stay here wedding night with their partners, and I don't want them to have to like wash sheets or worry about stuff. But there is this beautiful bed here. Bathroom. And then this lovely little room here too, with another ensuite bathroom. So anyways, I'm going to head to sleep because I am super sleepy. So enjoy some B-roll of my bachelorette weekend after this.
Okay, I am back from the most magical weekend. It was so perfect. Like, yes, there are always things that like slightly have hiccups in the wedding, but overall, when I look back at it, it was just the most magical, perfect, incredible weekend marrying my best friend, and I'm so thrilled. Like it was just beautiful. I did not take as many pictures as I wanted to, but the photographer is going to be giving us some pictures here shortly, and I did get a little bit of B-roll, I think, to give you the general vibe. But I might pop a few more pictures in next week. But we just had the most amazing weekend. It was absolutely beautiful in every way, and we were just so thrilled. Um, and oh, I wanted to show you my little band. So obviously the ring is the same, but this new little extra band I have, I just love how those stack together so nicely. And yes, I could just gush on forever and ever about how incredible the weekend was and how everything was so beautiful. But we are going to talk about some books because that is why you guys are here. So it is currently Tuesday. I am wrapping up this vlog quite late, but I did want to get it up for you guys today. So I am in to do the little end of the vlog wrap up clip. So this week I read 772 pages, which is 110 pages per day. You know what? I think that's pretty damn good for the week that I got married. I'm pretty happy with that. Yes, it's a little lower than I typically do, but I'm thrilled with that. I kind of had a whole string of random things that happened this week. So let me just recap. So first off, I DNF'd The Second Husband by Kate White. This just didn't quite work for me. I wasn't as invested as I wanted to be. I potentially would try another Kate White in the future because this is her lowest rated, but it didn't quite work. So DNF for that one. And then Heartwood by Amity Gage, I gave 3.5 stars and really enjoyed. Then I read A Killer Motive by, her last name is McKinnon. I will pop the book cover up on the screen, and I gave that one a 3.5 stars. I don't think I've told you much about my end thoughts of that, so let me just wrap that one up quickly here. I overall really enjoyed it. It's a great audiobook. If you want a thriller audiobook that will keep you invested on a road trip, has lots of little twists and turns, I think it would be perfect. I think the podcast element came through nicely. It was a good time. It just wasn't like A year from now, am I going to remember it super well? I don't know. That was why the rating came down a little bit. It seemed a little generic in a few places, but it was great. Like, it was a good time. The writing was super solid. The plot was solid. So I would definitely recommend it. It just didn't, it's not like a favorite thriller of all time or an absolute standout read for me. So 3.5 for that one. And then A Perfect Marriage, I am about halfway through of, continuing to plug along with this one. Yeah, a few more twists and turns coming through. I'm listening to this mostly on audiobook now, but reading a little bit as well with the physical book. And solid read. It just, yeah, again, I don't think this is going to be a thriller that I remember forever or a thriller that is, one of my on my top recommendations of the year or anything like that, but it is a fun little wedding thriller to, not really wedding, I would say dysfunctional marriage thriller to read this weekend. So this was lovely. Again, I'm only about halfway through, so this will be a holdover book into next week's vlog. And then I ended up not picking this up, and I don't think I'm going to, just because I became aware of the ratings of it. So do let me know, though. I am wholly onto it. If you really enjoyed this one, maybe you can persuade me to read it. My quote of the week, this is a little bit in good jest. It is on page 8 of The Perfect Marriage, and it says, I pick up my bag and start towards the door. I tell him I love him. Love you more, he says, which is how I feel about my boy, but they're not saying it in a serious way in this book. So I thought that was just a funny little quote for this week. So if you made it to the end of this video, leave me a little ring emoji for my wedding week. Next week, I will be reading a couple of the books that I said I was going to read in this, really just one book that I said I was going to read in this video and didn't get to, mainly being The Wedding People. So stay tuned for next week's reading vlog when I'm going to get to this one. I will finish The Perfect Marriage, and then there's one little surprise book on the TBR. So stay tuned for next week for a little bit more wedding footage and actually reading what I was supposed to read this week. And with that, I will see you guys very soon with another video. Bye.